All right, today we're going to learn about equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. You should have watched the video earlier on how to actually write an equation in a slope-intercept form because we're going to use that knowledge today. All right, so let's talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. Some things we know is parallel lines have the same slope. So they have the same slope, but yet they have a different y-intercept. Okay, if they had the same y-intercept, then it would be the exact same line. Perpendicular lines are going to have what we call opposite reciprocal. Opposite reciprocal. So on these, we are going to give you some examples. If I have the slope of a line that is 1/2, the slope of a perpendicular line is, I'm going to flip my fraction, 2/1. And because this was a positive, I'm going to change this to a negative. Okay? So let me give you another example. If I have a slope that is -3/5, I'm going to flip it 5/3, and it's going to be a positive slope for a perpendicular line. All right, so we need to know that information. We're still using the same concept. We need to find the slope, and we need to find the y-intercept. But the way we find slope is it's either the same as the line that's given, or it's its opposite reciprocal, depending on if it's perpendicular or parallel. All right, so now we're going to do this problem. Write the equation of a line that passes through the point 0, -1, and is parallel to -2x plus 3. So the key here is parallel. To me, this is the same slope. So I'm going to use this slope here. My new slope is -2. Now we're back to the same things. I have slope, I have an x and a y from my point, and I'm going to plug that into y equals mx plus b. Alright, so here my y in this case is -1 equals my slope -2 times my x, which is 0, plus my b. -2 times 0 is 0, so we have -1 equals 0 plus b, or in this case b equals -1. Alright, so now I know that my b is -1. I can write y equals -2x minus 1. Alright, that's my equation. It's parallel. Check and make sure it does have the same slope. Alright, so those are good. And it has a different y-intercept. One's at 3, one is at -1. Alright, so let's do the same kind of thing, but now it's going to be perpendicular. So underline that. That means we are going to do opposite reciprocal. Alright, so we have opposite reciprocal is going to be that, but if you look, we have this in standard form. This guy here is not in y equals, so we cannot tell its slope yet. So we are going to -3x on both sides. -5y equals -3x plus 6. Divide by -5. Okay, we're solving for y, that way we can get this as a slope intercept, so we can find my slope. Now in this case, my slope is 3/5. However, we don't want a line parallel, so we don't want the same slope. We want its opposite reciprocal. So I'm going to flip it, and because it was positive, now I'm going to turn it into a negative. So this is the slope that we want. Now we're back to the same kind of thing as before. We have that. We have an x and a y from my point, and we're going to write it so we can solve for b. So we have y equals mx plus b. All right, my y is 0 equals, and then we have my slope, which is a -5/3 times -8 plus 0. All right, it doesn't look like it's going to come out that nice, but that doesn't matter. We have 0 equals -5 times -8 is a +40/3 plus my b. This is a b here, not 0. -40 thirds on both sides. So B ends up being negative 40 over 3. So I can write my new equation, y equals negative 5/3 x minus 40 over 3. All right, it's the same kind of steps. It's just we got to find our slope. Because it was perpendicular, we have to find our opposite reciprocal, and then make sure we go from standard form to y-intercept, and you guys should be good.